The walls continue to close in on Emmanuel Haro's parents. And before I even get into this video, if you guys have been enjoying my coverage of this case, make sure you don't miss the other updates that I've been posting over on my second channel, Fat and Opinionated. This case has gotten so crazy that I'm having to post updates across two different channels because the updates are coming in by the minute. I'll be sure to post a link though to one of my videos from my second channel down in the comments below. Go check out those videos. But to give you a quick rundown of some of the more recent updates that we're dealing with here, as you guys know, as you guys have most likely heard, witnesses are claiming that Emmanuel was never seen at the park during the football practice or the football game or whatever it was where his family was supposedly hanging out. Emmanuel was never spotted there at all. So from the looks of things, Emmanuel never made it to that park. And the grandma has spoken out and she has provided an excuse saying that basically Emmanuel wasn't up to date on his shots, and she was like shrugging it off like of course she wouldn't take Emmanuel out the car. Now, I think that excuse is totally bogus. I'm sure you guys do as well, but it was a red flag to me because it seemed like it was something normal for her. You know, that, Emmanuel's parents, they go to football games and practices and they don't even take the baby out the car. So I'm wondering if they viewed Emmanuel kind of like a inconvenience for their lifestyle, an inconvenience for the other things they had to do. Is there a possibility that Emmanuel was left in a hot car? Now, authorities are probably thinking that's a possibility as well, because they did seize her vehicle. So we know they're looking into that angle. Now, Emmanuel and Rebecca, they're starting to cry victim, you know, claiming that they're being harassed. And I want to make one thing clear here. I tried to be as reserved as possible when I started covering this story. You can go look at my first couple of videos when I covered this story. I didn't want to just jump out there and start pointing the finger at these parents. Now, I know that the internet automatically was like, hey, they're guilty. But I'm not someone that follows the internet mob. I don't believe they're guilty just because everyone else does. I'm not just looking at people's opinions online and saying, oh, these people are guilty. Let me light my torch and join the mob. No. The reason why I feel so strongly that they're guilty is because law enforcement is basically telling us without telling us. Of course, they're keeping their lips sealed for the most part, but their actions are telling us that these parents are guilty. Okay? There's a reason why they haven't said anything hardly about this case at all. They're not telling us to be on the lookout for this or be on the lookout for that. But they were sure to let the public know that there was inconsistencies in the mother's story. They were sure to let the general public know that they have not ruled out foul play. They were sure to let everyone know that they have a bunch of security footage, which, thank the heavens, because we thought there might not be any. Apparently, they have tons of footage. So all of the details they're letting us know and the things that they're not letting us know really points towards the fact that they believe, and I mean without a shadow of a doubt, they believe that the parents are guilty. And the lawyer has spoken now. I'm about to show you a clip of what he had to say in just a moment. But he even acknowledges that law enforcement is not searching for Emmanuel at all. Now, before you get up in arms, like, oh my God, why aren't they searching for this poor child? Law enforcement isn't searching for him at all because law enforcement already knows more than we know, okay? Law enforcement isn't searching for him because they don't feel like he was really abducted. Okay, law enforcement has keyed in on the parents. They are obviously the target of this investigation. So you're not going to see, the type of searches that you would see if they really believed that the child was abducted. But we know they have taken Rebecca's car. And now, according to the lawyer, they have also seized the cell phones, laptops. Ish is getting real. Like I said, the walls are closing in. Let's go ahead and roll this news clip, though. Let's hear from the lawyer, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
We're hearing from the attorney representing the father of Emmanuel Haro, the baby who vanished from Yucaipa.
Authorities say the child's parents have stopped cooperating with investigators, and Mario Ramirez is live in San Bernardino with the very latest developments. Mario?
Sandra, Roxy, I spoke directly with the father's attorney, Vincent Hughes, this morning, and he tells me that's not the case. The child's parents have been cooperating with investigators. Meanwhile, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department says that desperate search continues, and it has not ruled out foul play when it comes to that baby's disappearance. Take a look. Pictured here, 7-month-old baby Emmanuel Haro was reported missing by his mother, allegedly kidnapped last week while in her care. This all started Thursday evening when Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, says she was attacked while changing her son's diaper in the parking lot of the Big Five in Yucaipa. When she woke up, she says her son was gone without a trace. Detectives now say her story doesn't add up, stating publicly over the weekend that there were inconsistencies in her story, and when confronted, they say she ended her interview. Meanwhile, there's been a desperate search for answers, and while sheriff's officials have said the parents have stopped cooperating with law enforcement in the investigation, we're now hearing from the father's attorney, who says that's anything but the case. He says they've turned over their phones, laptops, passwords, and claims the sheriff's department should be doing more.
Doesn't seem law enforcement is doing anything to find this child. He's holed up in his house with his family because they are not getting the support that they need. They have people trampling on their property. They have death threats being made. All of the reports I'm seeing on social media that Jake and his wife are running, have fled the country, have fled the jurisdiction, they're at their home. They're at their home, holed up, scared for their own safety, grieving for their son. I have personally spent time with Jake and have seen the emotions in his face. He is not in any way running, hiding, or doing anything to exhibit any behaviors of somebody that is trying to be deceptive in this case.
And we've learned Jake pled guilty to child cruelty charges in a separate 2018 case out of Riverside County. According to court records, he's currently on probation for those charges after he was convicted and jailed in 2023, and is also facing additional charges for weapons possession. Meanwhile, the nonprofit organization Uvalde Foundation for Kids, we've learned, has withdrawn its $5,000 reward in search efforts, citing the parents' unwillingness to cooperate with the investigation. Now, back out here live, when speaking with the father's attorney, he told me that since that initial missing child's poster went up, several of them all throughout the Inland Empire, they've had to discontinue their numbers because they've been receiving around-the-clock death threats and also have been getting visits at their Cabazon home.
So Jake's lawyer says that law enforcement isn't really doing anything to find Emmanuel. And I would argue personally, I know everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but personally, I would argue the exact opposite. Law enforcement is doing a lot to find Emmanuel, which is why they confiscated Rebecca's vehicle, which is why they needed her cell phone and daddy's cell phone and the laptop and the passwords, because they're trying to find Emmanuel. Okay? They're not out here on a wild goose chase looking for some random person that said hola and then knocked Rebecca out and took Emmanuel. They're not on a wild goose chase, looking for that suspect, because they know that that is most likely some BS. They're doing what they can to find Emmanuel. It's just that they're trying to find Emmanuel by digging into whatever Emmanuel's parents had going on. So I think it's kind of, I don't know if ironic is the right word, but he says that they're not doing anything to find the baby. And then he goes on to say, they confiscated, Jake and Rebecca's phones. They've been out at the house. They brought the dogs to the house. Oh, yeah, they're trying to find that baby, all right. The only problem is they think that your client, because I don't think he represents Rebecca, only Jake. Your client might have something to do with this. So let's just be totally honest and fair here. I will criticize law enforcement when needed. I have seen them drop the ball in cases before. I don't think they're dropping the ball here. It seems like they're hovering right over the target, and they are doing what they can to find out what happened to this child, okay? They didn't even waste any time, okay? They went ahead and fast forwarded right to the end, okay? They're like, hey, we don't want to deal with all this middle process where we got to go search through everything in the world trying to find this suspect. They're like, no, we know who our suspects are, and that's why we're keying in on Emmanuel's parents. Now, as far as his claims about there being reports out there that Jake and Rebecca were wanted and they were on the run, I saw some of those reports as well. I saw plenty of comments from people and people tagging me and stuff saying, oh my God, they're on the run, they're wanted. We know that that's not the case because people were outside the house yesterday. Their lawyer visited them at their house yesterday. The media was outside interviewing and talking to Jake at the house. So I don't know why people were putting those rumors out there. I tried to warn everyone in my first video about this case that this would happen, that people would start just putting all types of fake stuff out there. So be very cautious. And I don't know why it's necessary, because there's plenty of updates in this case. You don't got to make stuff up. The parents already look bad enough. You don't have to make up fake stuff to make them look worse. They already look as bad as they can. And I do think that whatever happened to Emmanuel, I do think that investigators are going to find out. And I do think the parents are responsible. So there's no need to make up a bunch of stuff. I'm sure that I'm sure that we will get justice for Emmanuel, but I don't know if it's going to be as speedy as a process as some people are expecting, because from the looks of things, I feel like Rebecca and Jake kind of had a head start here on law enforcement. Personally, and we don't know this for sure, I think that black eye is connected with whatever happened to Emmanuel. And we know she had the black eye on August 3rd. So I think that Emmanuel, maybe something happened to him as far back as then. So I feel like personally, and we don't know this for sure, maybe I'm wrong, who knows, but personally, I would say that I think something most likely happened to Emmanuel 2-3 weeks ago. And they're just now devising whatever this plan is. But we don't know. We're going to be glued into this story, and we're going to find out what happened eventually. If it's tomorrow or if it's a year from now, I'll let you guys know. But for now, let me know what you think about these updates down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.